Hey guys, Kevin Muldoon here. If you checked out my retro gaming stash the other week, you would have noticed that I came across a lot of old gaming magazines. These appear to be from, I believe, where's this one from? This one is from 2001, so I think a lot of them are from around 2000, 2001. I've got older magazines somewhere up in the loft, but I thought I would just show you these ones. Now, where's the site first? This was a magazine, as you can see here. Computer Active, and it was quite a popular magazine. You saw this in all the shops. I thought it would just be good to take a trip down memory lane, and right away you can see here the prices of computers at the time. What have we got here? Right, we've got a Dell Dimension A100 1.5 gigahertz Pentium 4 17-inch color monitor CRT. Graphics card is 32 megabytes. 128 meg RAM graphics card, 20 gigabyte hard drive. It's £900. And you can see down here, £1,400 will get you a Pentium 3 with which is internet ready, and that comes with a 14. Oh, that's a laptop actually. That's a laptop. Sorry, I'm getting mixed up. That's a laptop there, and that's the desktop. Just shows you how much prices have changed. I remember this being quite a good magazine. You know, I don't really buy magazines anymore, but I remember this was, one of the few good computer magazines that were out, and a lot of the things perhaps you maybe take for granted now. A lot of the advice they give you, but at the time I remember it being quite good. What was this? Evesham.com. So look here, look at this notebook they've got here. £1,200 after VAT. It's a Pentium 3, 128 megabyte of RAM, 20 gigabyte hard drive, graphics up to 16 megabytes, got a DVD ROM, 56 kilobyte internet ready modem. That's how we used to roll back in the day. Oh, and it says it's got a floppy disk drive built in with Windows ME. I don't know if you can remember Windows ME, but it was it after 2000? I think it was XP, then 2000, then ME, I believe. And ME and 2000 were... Well, 2000 was okay. I think ME was the one that was really bad. Then afterwards you've got a review of it. 4 stars. Obviously they're working in conjunction with the company. The fact they've got an advertisement directly afterwards. So that's what happens today as well. A digital audio player now. 2000, you didn't really get MP3 players. I mean, you did. They were small and they were expensive. This is a standard CD player, but it can play. What did it say here? It can play 650 megabyte of MP3s on one CD. So that was kind of, this was around the time where people were starting to even just hear about MP3 files as far as playing them. You weren't getting MP3 players really on market. They were expensive, because I remember going to university in 2001 and there was a guy who had one, and it was like, I think it was £150 for about something this size, and it only carried 32 megabytes. The Creative GeoForce 2 Pro. It's quite interesting to look back though and just kind of compare prices, and we do take a lot of things for granted now and we think that certain things are expensive, but if you go back in the day, things were always this expensive, and relatively speaking, most things have actually got cheaper. Tiny. This is where I actually bought my first computer. They're no more. They merged with a company called Time in the UK. So there's a 256 megabyte of RAM, Pentium 3, 20 gigabyte hard drive. That works out £1,300. You can see this is the kind of package that you would get if you were buying a computer back in the mid-90s to 2000. A lot of the time you would get a deal. They would throw in a printer. They would throw in crappy little speakers, because monitors rarely had speakers built in. I mean, it's still a better idea to buy speakers separately if you want better audio. But yeah, it was an interesting. Still got the disc. And on the back, Fujitsu computers, Siemens. Now I think these were all. So this was afterwards. See, they're not in any order here. This one's issue 105. We've still got the Dell advertisement there. This was March 2002. This one looks like it's a little bit earlier. Was the date November 2000? This one is. This is not a PC, it's a complete home entertainment system. Play games, listen to music, watch films and more. Dell seem to be on the inside of every single cover. You can really see like PDAs were big back then as well. PC World. PC World are actually still going. They're part of Curry's, the Curry's group, and it's called Curry's PC World when you walk in. They're still selling computers here in the UK. You can see, you know, like there was a computer there, like £2,200, and it got you a 19-inch monitor, surround sound speakers, 56k modem. So it's easy to forget that back then you were still rocking the 56 kilobyte modems. 64 megabyte GeoForce graphics card, 60 gig hard drive. It's interesting what you get. What you got back in the day, but I mean it'll be the same when you look back in what we're getting just now. If you look back at it in 16 years time. Esham with another advertisement. Comparison of computers. So you can see here, you get some good gains here. Now the thing is, you did get advice online at the time, but it wasn't like it is today, Back then, obviously there was still tutorials and things online, but people still read things in magazines more, than going online. That was true even for for computing related issues. If you look at this here, I don't know if you remember this, guys, the IO Mega. These were these thick zip drives, and they were kind of marketed toward businesses for storage. Big thick zip drives, and they stored 250 megabytes. Now the old standard floppy disk would carry 1.4 megabytes, so that was huge in comparison. Especially when these discs, if you could buy like a 2 gigabyte external drive or something like that, 250 megabyte in one disc was quite a lot. Some game reviews for the PC, Jurassic Larks. Universal remotes at the end there. 1 gigahertz basically. 1 gigahertz PC for £1,000. It's insane, because my phone is more powerful than that now. Web user, now this looks like a different one. Organise your festive fun online in 24 hours. That's the bit with the disc. Let's stick in the page. Oh, here we go. Some mobile phones. Sony J5e, pretty orange. £140. Best web price, £100. Battle of the browsers. Look at that. Internet Explorer versus Netscape. That's what it was all about back in the day. So I think it's quite interesting to look back on these things. Not something you're going to read every day, obviously, but just when you look back in hindsight and see the cost of things, it's quite amusing. This one was May 2002, PC Magazine. This was the one that you always get a free CD, and it gave you, most of it was crap. It gave you like trialware, gave you older games, it gave you certain applications for free, and then you had to upgrade. This one was more kind of serious, it was more for people that were upgrading and things like that. Like this one was just kind of for a standard computer user, I would say. Like this one was a bit more in depth. You can see that here. They're talking about motherboards, chipsets, and memory. Now at this time, I used to always build my PCs, so I was always interested in this kind of thing. You're always reading about the latest graphics card. This is I'm comparing XP and Linux. And this is even further back. This is 1999. I think these ones are going back even further. Dell, as usual, in the inside page. got here? Celeb's Guide to the Internet, Smart Talking PCs. An interesting thing is, around this time, there was still a lot of people who didn't have the internet. You know, it wasn't widespread yet. You didn't get it in phones. And if you didn't have it hooked up in your house, you know, what you had to do back then was obviously take out your phone line and then plug in your computer, which meant that no one could use the phone. So a lot of people didn't want it anyway, or they would get a second line put in, which is what we did in our house. We had a second line put in downstairs and then another one put up the stairs. And that was quite common to do, but there was other people who just didn't have one. And look how thick these laptops are. They're huge. An Intel Celeron 366 megahertz. What else has it got there? Micro Monitor. They all seem to give you these wee speakers with the monitor and the generic mouse. 8.4 gigabyte hard drive. It's very random. 2 USB ports. I assume it was USB 1 back at that time, but I can't remember when USB 2 was brought in. Resident Evil 2. Classic game. Worms Armageddon. That's a really good game, actually. I really love that game. Moto Racer 2. What else we got? Asteroids. Quest and Glory. And it's got recommended websites. Internet Money. Issue number 1. Sex on the Net. The Great Porn Debate. What else we got? Everything was winning here, like exclusive 500 meg with every CD, winner, camera, competition, and then sex. You know what sells, eh? Free stuff and sex. So this looks like this was a business magazine I bought about making money on the internet. I believe so. June 1999. The key to internet success. So I didn't actually start working online until about the start of 2000 is when I did my first websites. But looking at this, it was keen. It's clear I was still kind of interested in working online. Internet shopping. Nintendo 64 guide thrown in there. Oh, this was in the... I'll need to put that upstairs. It's easy to forget how amazing this console was. Just see some of the games on this. Like, as far as classic games, when you look at that, I had that as well, F1 Grand Prix. Zelda 64. Absolutely amazing. Ocarina of Time. Turok 2, F-Zero, Wipeout, V-Rally, 1080 Snowboard, Mortal Kombat, Mission Impossible. I really enjoyed that game, that was good. ISS, Body Harvest was good. What else have we got here? Banjo-Kazooie, awesome. Rogue Squadron was good. GoldenEye, probably the best first person shooter ever. Definitely one of the best. I like the most fun as far as 4-player in the same house with your friends. Mario, classic. Lilac Wars, Forsaken, Quake. What else we got? Yoshi's Story, Duke Nukem, Mario Kart 64, Diddy Kong Racing. That's just a what's what of the best games. Right, what are we down to? Issue 90 here. I've only got a few left. Issue 90. What is this? November 2000. It's just a little bit insane, you know. Delving inside, it's a little bit insane just how things have changed. You know, back then where it was, you know, 56 kilobytes, and now we're streaming 4K video. You know, like how far have we come in such a short space of time? It truly was like probably the revolution of our generation. Without a doubt, you know, it was the biggest change in our lives as far as, you know, if you look back in history, that they'll talk about the 90s and early, the 90s being the time when the internet was a revolution, etc. Web pages, build a better site. When was this? Issue 12. I can't even see a date on this thing. No date at all. I imagine it's around the same time. Still no date. Like, are they scared? They want this to be a timeless classic? Genuinely, I can't see any date here. That's bizarre. Issue 12. No. That's mad. I probably bought that around the same time as the other one though. As far as, you know, making websites online. So if I'm bored at an airport or a bus station, I would buy something like that. And this is 2002, this one, so we're a little bit, we've jumped ahead in time, a couple of years. CD writers. And 16-speed USB 2. New Mac being released. I'm sure it's frustrating watching this because I'm probably skipping by things that you want me to examine. But Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon. Web space made easy. Yeah, I'm sure. Behind web hosting. Yeah. The power. Buying gifts online. This was a supplement. No, it's just a... They've actually got Battlefield Earth there. I think they're losing all integrity here by putting that there. So, I'm on to the last one, and this is August the 8th of September 1999. Dell on the inside. Shocker. It was all Pentium 3s at this point. 56k modems. 6GB hard drives. It was a fun time though. I mean, there was a lot of new things happening. You know, the industry was still kind of finding its feet, and the internet it still is in many ways, but back then it was just a complete wild west. You know, people were doing... I mean, it was kind of before people were getting ripped off because people weren't putting their bank details online. You know, e-commerce hadn't picked up, but it was just, you know, people were still on chat boards. There was discussion forums were just kind of starting to come out, and they were getting popular. This was years, but you know, this is probably like 5-6 years. Well, probably 3-4 years before blogging was really popular. Although I think Blogger was actually released this same year. Just didn't really pick up for years. Graphics calculators. I've got that one downstairs actually. Could even show you that one day. £65. Wow, I didn't realise that one was so expensive. Did mathematics at uni, so I had to buy one of those. I was forced to. I didn't want to, but it's another story. So that was it. That was a look at some older computer magazines. I've got older ones up the stairs, and I've got a huge collection of games magazines. But I just wanted to share with you all what these magazines were like, and give you a kind of a trip down memory lane for those of you who bought magazines at the time, and for those of you who didn't, then I'm sure it's quite funny thinking that there was back then people were paying like £1,200 for, you know, for computers that had 56k modems and 400 megahertz CPUs and things like that. But thanks for watching, guys. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you want me to do something like this again, please let me know in the comment area and give me your thoughts on this. I'd love to hear whether you collected magazines like this back, you know, 16, 17 years ago. And if you've enjoyed the video, please do consider subscribing to the channel, sharing and liking the video. Till next time, guys. Thanks for watching.